We're on our way to Palo Alto, and we made a quick stop at Davis because I had to pee. And now I'm going to take over driving. This is my beeb. Here I am in the spot that I made my first video 7 months ago, and that video had me with hair. And this video, as you can see, has me without hair. It's actually not. One of my friends mentioned, she said, "Oh, I thought you were going to shave it all the way." And I was like, "Oh, this isn't shaved all the way?" Well, it could be shorter. I guess, you know, they have numbers on those clippers, so this is like somewhere in the middle of 3 or 4 or something. Oh, it's breezy out here, and look, my hair's not blowing. Well, I've had a lot of things happen since I last made a video. I did a PET CT, and that showed that there was no metastases to anywhere else, so it's great. I mean, yeah, breast cancer can go to the brain, the liver, the bones, and the PET CT validated that there were it hasn't spread. So it's really good news because it was about 7 months since I did the first one. It's a lot of time in the world of cancer. And then, I'm cold. I got a axilla biopsy, and that showed, well, actually the lymph node still showed up, but it wasn't big enough for them to be able to test the pathology. So it actually had shrunk from the PET CT from 7 months ago. And then what else I have done? You can see I have this port here. This is kind of trippy. These are the bandages. I'm healing from it. They insert a catheter into this like lower neck area, and this whole thing is raised. It's very alien looking. It's really bizarre. I got this on Monday, and today's Friday. It's supposed to take a week to heal, and each day it's been getting a little bit better, but it's a weird feeling. I mean, I basically feel like somebody stuck some plastic implement under my skin, you know? I mean, that is what happened. So it's like, it's very crazy feeling. And when I went there to have that done, like I purposely didn't want to know how it was going to go, because it was getting it done, so I didn't want to be too afraid of it. So I had no idea they were going to do this. And when I was laying on the table about to have surgery, one of the women said, "Mrs. Cole, have you ever had a catheter in your neck?" And I was like, "What?" I mean, it scared me, but I was on some heavy drugs, which I just told them drug me up to the highest level you can put me on. So I don't know if they did that or not, but I was on fentanyl, which I didn't even know what that was until Prince died from it. But it definitely puts you in a euphoric state. I remember one of the women, it was a room full of women. Again, at Stanford, it's so interesting because when I got this biopsy, it was a room full of women. So I guess there's a lot of women in the medical field at Stanford. So yeah, this woman was standing here from the room. She was one of the nurses, and she was just watching my face. And they told me that there'd be somebody there watching my face to make sure that things were going okay. So that was actually really scary. I realized I hadn't been in a surgery room since I was a teenager and had an abortion. So that's a lot of years ago. And then before that, I got my tonsils out. So those are my 2 experiences with surgery to this point. And I was laying there, and they were kind of like, they were very casual and laughing and having fun. And on the one hand, I was kind of like, oh, that's cool. They like their job. They're having fun. On the other hand, I was like, this is serious business. Take this seriously. That's when they were doing the port. But it helped, actually, to just have them be, you know, kind of carefree about it. But I was getting wheeled across the hospital, wheeled into the surgery room, and I felt like, God, what a vulnerable position to be in. I mean, you're wearing like the ugliest thing you could wear with a paper shower cap on your head, and it's like you're just basically naked, you know, naked inside and out, and people are about to stick steel or whatever, metal instruments in your body, and you're saying yes to it, you know? I mean, it's kind of a trip, really, when you think about it. It's probably good not to think too much about it. So You can see I buzzed my head. Some friends also did. Shelly, really, you were the inspiration. Thank you so much. I really used the winds that you gave me in my sails to just, I don't know, invite others to do it and to go for it. I mean, I haven't even gotten the first chemo yet, and I shaved my head, and a friend was like, well, what if you don't lose your hair? And I thought, well, that would be pretty funny, actually, if I didn't have to shave my head. But, you know, it's really like a badge of honor as well. It, it's a marking point, you know, there's like before cancer and after cancer, maybe, BC and AC. And so it feels appropriate to do. And my daughter shaved the back of her head here, which was her act of solidarity with me, and they made a cute little design, and it was really fun to do that together. So the chemo's gonna start. Oh, they retested my pathology too. It was a little bit of a, like, I don't know, circus act, something kind of weird, because the oncologist that I have now said that their God, sometimes words are hard to find. Their imaging team had a question, like it might have been lobular and not ductal, and it might not be HER2. And I mean, those are big, it's like the exact opposite of the diagnosis. So they actually had to get the original biopsy, which she said they bank somewhere. So this is from like October of last year. They had to get that piece of clump of cells and have it restained, and I guess that took some time, but it did come back, and it is HER2, and they thought it was a grade 3, not a stage 3, but a grade 3, and grade 1, 2, and 3 show the aggressiveness of the cells, so they thought it was a 3, they put it back to a 2, they thought it might be a different pathology, and basically, so in the end, all they did was confirm the original pathology, so it's HER2, stage 2, grade 2, and it's stage 2 because of the size. The original size of the tumor, it seems, actually was more like 7 centimeters. I think maybe even up to 8 centimeters. And anything over 5 centimeter automatically puts you in a stage 2. I think. God, I'm pretty sure I have that right. And then also having lymph node involvement. So if anything else came up on the PET scan, then that would have automatically put me into a stage 4, actually. So really just, you know, I've had these like chest pains or pains in my sternum and pains in my heart, and there's no cancer there. There's no detectable cancer there, so I really have nothing to worry about, which is really reassuring. And where is I going with that? So yeah, I got a lot of good news. The one thing that happened was when I first went to see the oncologist, Dr. Sheth at Stanford, well, the second time I saw her, she scheduled me for treatment 3 weeks out, and we thought that would be enough time. But I've just been having all these trouble with insurance because Stanford's not contracted through the insurance that I have, which is California Health and Wellness. So they have to get approval for basically everything, and she thought 3 weeks would be enough, and it wasn't. So I basically I've been on the phone for hours at points. They were going to make me sign something that said I'd pay for this port out of pocket. And I was like, you know, that's not going to happen. They told me it would be $850 to $2,000, and we were like, there's no way, it's got to be more than that. And it turns out it's like $38,000 to get one of these things in your body. So yeah, I spent so much time on the phone with people. I mean, you know, you never want it to go that way, but sometimes it happens. But one thing I've found in this whole process is really, it's rare that someone's going to advocate for you. And if they advocate for you once, they might not do it twice, and they're not probably doing it for the duration. So you have to really become your own advocate, and with that, like, be the one who's making stuff happen, not waiting for them and just reacting to what they do, but initiating things. So anyway, it took so right now they're still trying to, well, they actually denied it. They denied the chemo. It's like, how could you deny the chemo? Someone has cancer, it's this thing, but you know, it's a proven treatment that's going to work. Here's the regimen. And I thought, how could they deny it? But it's some sort of administrative thing. They needed more information. So the nurse that I'm working with, Dr. Sheth's nurse, said that she's furnishing the information. Actually, not her, the authorization manager, but who cares about that detail? She's the one who's furnishing the information that they need so they can get it approved. But as it stands, this coming Tuesday would be my 3rd week where I'd normally be getting the Herceptin, and I thought I'd be getting the chemo, so it's hard to know. It's not been approved yet. Today's Friday, so there's a good chance I'm not getting chemo on Tuesday, which means my schedule will be off a little bit. So I don't know. I have to talk to the doctor and find out, like, what to do about that. And it could turn out that I get the treatment here in Grass Valley, or I might need to still go to Stanford and get the treatment there. We'll just see what happens. And my beloved is about to leave for a little time, so I really want him to be here, of course, when I'm getting the chemo for the first time, because I have this whole collection of pharmaceuticals now for nausea and vomiting. Actually, 4 of them are for nausea and vomiting, and I have no idea which ones to take. I don't know how it's gonna go. But so that's my update on all that stuff. I wanted to say, if you've made it through this part of the video and you're someone that's following along, like I know there's a few of you that probably watched the whole thing, like Heidi. I love you. Thank you. It's every time someone tells me I'm brave or that I inspired them in some way, I'm just like, it really, it makes it worth it. Like, this whole process has been a creative outlet for me. Even just making a simple little video, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but it somehow allows me to, like, make art out of this experience, to express myself, to be creative. It's a silver lining, I guess. It's something that I couldn't have expected, and I've said it before on a video, but I know some people don't feel cancer's a gift, and of course sometimes it's not, but sometimes it is too. So I really appreciate so much, deeply the encouragement, the inspiration, the gratitude, the support, the love, the care. A couple of women locally want to help me with a meal train while I'm going through the chemo, and I had that when I was, after I gave birth for a month, we had people show up and bring food to our family, and it's really touching. So I thank you, if you're still listening, deeply from the depths of my heart, for being in my life and for caring for me and loving me and just listening, really, just listening and giving me your attention. That really means the most. So wish me luck, onward and upward. Take good care. I had to get this wig in here. I mean, seriously, is this not the cutest thing ever? It's my new wig. I don't know if I'm gonna wear it that much. I wore it yesterday, but I'm kind of liking the shaved head a lot. So, but yeah. Anyway, this is my cute wig. It's all peach with the dark roots. So isn't it so fun? So I can do that when I don't want to be a baldy shaved head.